How to create contract fees. We've assumed you've already seen these videos and are now ready to know how to create contract fees. Firstly, you are going to need to know when fees should be created. This will depend on the type of contracts you have. Periodic contracts are best to be raised in the middle of the month, as stated as such on your fixed fee agreement. Milestone contracts is based on when the milestone actual date has been generated, therefore this potentially needs to be checked daily. For practices using the APS BPA application for business process automation, then BPA would act as your virtual assistant and notify you when milestone contracts are ready to be billed, when fees that have not been raised should be, when contracts are ready for renewal, and when to complete a final fee by absorbing WIP against the interim contract fees. Now we know when, next is who should be creating the contract fees. We see the contract fee generation process as an administration task. The contracts themselves have been set up, so the fees should be automatically generated as per the contract without any further adjustment to keep the process streamlined and simple. Let's take a look at the software. Navigate to the Fees application from the Central Application list. We have assumed users have prepared standard fees previously. To create a batch of contract fees, select Add from the ribbon and then select Auto Fees and Contract Billing. Select Next. Where you have fee approvals enabled, you will need to select the appropriate process for fee approvals. To ensure the process is streamlined, the administration team have been given access to this function and authorised to post directly without a need of a second person to approve contract fees, as the approval process has essentially been completed in the contract setup process. So in our case, the same person starting up the fee is the same person who will post. Select Next once the approval path has been selected. The fee filter will now display. The default filter is blank, and we would recommend that you set up filters for the different entities you have and different bill plan methods where you are using both periodic and milestone contract fee methods. You'll notice here we have 4 saved public lists that can be used by the whole business. If we look at number 2, the monthly contracts, you'll notice that the saved filter has where the contract entity is APS accounting and the billing method is periodic. This will allow us to focus on the mid-month periodic bills in one batch for the one entity. If we select 01 daily contracts, you'll notice the filter is slightly different in that it picks up the APS accounting entity, but the billing method is now based on milestone billing contracts. This filter would need to be checked daily to ensure no milestone contracts are missed. If it is not being billed, it will be picked up in the next run. This is where our BPA module would work as your virtual assistant to automatically notify you that contracts are needed today. So the auto fee selector is always looking for unbilled contracts to fee. In our example, we are going to complete the monthly contracts and change this back to 02 monthly contracts. And then we can select Next. The preview of items to be billed will be displayed, and we recommend to leave the options as standard and create a fee for all available items. Select Next. Now select Finish to create the fee batch. The fees are generated in the debtors work list as unposted fees. We may like to preview the invoices and ensure there is no unwanted formatting issues. We can right click and preview. If you identify if there are any issues with the narrations or the formatting of the invoice, we would need to make that change within the invoice itself. To edit the invoice, double-click to open the invoice and make sure that we get into edit mode to make any changes to the narrations. Whilst a contract fee narration can be edited, the total fee amount cannot be different from that of the contract. No other changes are accepted when posting. Once completed, go back to the work list. We can select all invoices in this batch and right-click to promote to the next stage to be able to post, print and clear the fees. Select all invoices, right-click and select Post. Say yes. The fees are now posted. Now print these fees and ensure they are sent. Most should be set up to be sent electronically using the bulk correspondence function. To complete this process, clear the fee lock on this batch. Release from batch. Repeat the process for daily contracts and other entities as required. Now let's look at how reporting on contracts works in the next video. Thank you.